What's going on, everyone? It's time to talk about House of Dracula. We're continuing on with the Dracula films from the classic Universal Monster lineup that was released between 1930 and 1950 or something like that. So House of Dracula was released by Universal December 1st, 1944. It's written by Edward Lowe and Paul Malvern, produced by Paul Malvern, and directed by Earl C. Kenton, who's also done like The Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, The World of Abbott and Costello, and She Asked for It, to name a few. This had a budget of $354,000, which was quite a bit back in the day. That was like a couple million compared to now. So yeah, but House of Dracula. Wow, this is the first film where you actually see a lot of the Universal monsters come together in one film. They kind of basically evolutionized the crossover film in this. And same with House of Frankenstein, and then they go on. So these are the movies that basically made like their own universe before it was even a thing. Yeah, because then it never was done until like Marvel basically came in. But so House of Dracula. Well, so it's an interesting film as one of so there's Dracula and the Wolfman, and they basically go to a respective psychiatrist, doctor type person to cure them from their curses. Where there's also like a hunchback guy who's I think it's the hunchback and the Wolfman go and get curses, and Dracula's meanwhile is doing the doctor's like bidding and stuff. And so basically they go and they try to get the cure, but they also have to do the bidding for the doctor as well, and basically push them on to so they could get cured. But the doctor has like a little grasp on them, but then realizes throughout the film that it's starting to loosen, and he also starts going mad himself, and some curse evil is happening to him. And there's some really good dark scenes in this film. There's like a creepy old man, the creepy hunchback guy talking to a carriage rider, which is really good, but then the carriage rider overacts ridiculously, so it kind of ruins it. But it's still a really good scene in it, and there's really good transformation scenes in this one. They improve it every film, it seems, and definitely one of the better ones. Now, Dracula's played by John Carradine in this. Bela Lugosi wasn't. He only played Dracula a few times, so. And so as they go on throughout, they end up resurrecting Frankenstein's monster, and he comes about and destroys the place at the end. It's a really fun film, but it's kind of each one's placed in certain spots. So like you start off with Dracula, and then they set up the whole film. But then it goes more into for a majority of it, you're with like the Wolfman and the Hunchback guy throughout the majority of the film, and you only see like the odd one or two scenes where they kind of mingle together in it, which is kind of disappointing. But this movie's only like an hour and 10 minutes, so but yeah. And then right at the climax, they all come together for a little bit. But yeah, this is really cool to see though. Back in like the 1940s, they never did anything like this. So this is definitely one of the more interesting one, along with House of Frankenstein. I can't remember which one came out first, but definitely is definitely one of the more interesting directions to go for like a film sequel, and to help expand the lore of it all, even though they kind of screw it up a bit. Like Dracula has a couple sons, same with Frankenstein, and then one of them has a brother apparently, and they touch on it once, but never touch on it again. So there's some like weird little things like that. But overall, it's still an entertaining film. There's a lot of overacting in it, but it's still an amusing monster mashup type film, where they just get better and better as they go along. So, um, yeah, that's basically House of Dracula. I think it's an okay movie. I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever, but um, it's definitely fun still. I kind of wish that they'd put the monsters in more together, and yeah, maybe elaborate a little bit more on like put them all in, and maybe actually have it in a house or something. Because this one's not really in a house, but it's called House of Dracula for some reason. So, and this one is a little mismatch of it, and I think they recycled the ending from Ghost of Frankenstein. I think that's where I recognize it from, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so yeah, there's quite a bit of plot holes in this, but still a fun little monster flick to continue the stories on, because as it goes on, the next one is House of Frankenstein. That's going to actually be my next review, so make sure you ring that bell. But yeah, this one was an okay film for me. Wasn't the best. I think House of Frankenstein's probably a little bit better, but we'll talk about that in the next one. And yeah, but overall, I still found it enjoyable. It was still fun. It's always fun watching old monster movies and stuff, and definitely not the worst film I've ever seen. So it's probably like middle of the road. I'm probably gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, that sounds about right. And but yeah, but besides that, that's it for this one. House of Dracula. It's a confusing little mess, but still fun. And definitely haven't seen to check it out, especially if you like the old monster movies and stuff. And still a fun time. So with that, all the acting, cinematography, and special effects and stuff are all top notch in it too. Besides like some random editing, I think that's because they had to rush it out. It makes it makes it not as good, but yeah, overall still a fun time. So check it out. There's a trailer link down below if you want to check it out. You never heard of it, or if you forgot about it and you want to relive it, it's linked down below. Also linked down below is my Instagram. I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. I usually have the film title hashtag and the subject on the film and the hashtag so you're aware of it. So yeah, follow me there. Or you follow me on Letterbox at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films. So yeah, follow me on one of those two platforms to stay in loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Let your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And if you have, let me know your favorite Universal monster movie in the from the classic golden era monster films. I'd love to hear what ones are your favorites. Also, if you have any films or any other franchises or anything that you want to hear my opinions on, comment those down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. And yeah, that's it for this one. So make sure you subscribe, because hopefully we'll find something weird, obscure, and odd that I never thought of checking out together, so you can hear my opinions on popular films and franchises like this. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe. Yeah, and don't forget to ring that bell and tune in next time, because we're going to be talking about House of Frankenstein. So hopefully it's a little bit better than this one, but we'll see. These are all hit and miss, so we'll see as we go along. So House of Frankenstein's next. So, but watch out for all those crazy vampires, werewolves, and monsters out there lurking in our backyards. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So until then, cheers.